Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brent Gove, and I'm excited to be here to tell you about EXP. Now, before I break down the model and show you how it works, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. I promise to be brief. I was 12 years at RE/MAX, 8 years at Keller Williams, and the last 3 years I've been at EXP. So I've been doing this 23 years. I started when I was 30 in real estate. Little quick math, you know, I'm 53 years old. And basically my story is this. I did really well at RE/MAX, loved it, one of their top agents in California. And Keller Williams started recruiting me in 2000. By 2009, in the middle of the market crash, I figured, what have I got to lose? Let's go see if this Keller Williams is all they're cracked up to be. Went there, loved it. Had a great experience for me for 8 years. Got to the point where I was going to stay there forever. One day the phone rings, and it's a friend of mine from Dallas, Texas, Sheila Fairgeron, and she said, Brent, I don't know if you remember me, but we met a couple years earlier at a Haas Pratt seminar. You were on stage, you spoke, you were amazing. I was so impressed with you. I liked her instantly, right? A very wise woman, obviously. At this point, I would do anything she asked me to do. It's pretty funny. But she said, hey, I'm dying to know, have you heard about this new model called EXP Realty? No, not really. She says, well, man, I sure would appreciate your opinion on the model. I'd really love to know what you thought. She didn't ask me to leave Keller Williams. She just asked me to evaluate a business model for real estate. I go, sure. I did know one thing, that I absolutely would not be interested. What could possibly even hold a candle to Keller Williams? I mean, I hope you feel that way about your brokerage. That's how so kudos to Keller for making me feel that way. So I sat down and watched what I'm about to show you. And about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later, I was just blown away. I was in shock. Never seen anything like it in my 20 years in real estate. To the point where 2 weeks later, I moved my $100 million real estate sales team away from Keller Williams into EXP. Now keep in mind, I'd moved one time in 20 years prior to this. It took 9 years for me to make that move. Moving's not something I did, but what I saw in the EXP model was so compelling. It was so radically different that I just had to make the move. And what EXP is, it's a cloud-based company invented by this man. Every once in a while, a special human being comes along, like an Elon Musk type individual, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, the Richard Branson. He's one of those special kind of people in life who just figured something out a decade ago. Most of us are just realizing, gee, 8,000 major retail chains went bye-bye last year, and online sales is booming. I mean, Amazon started with books. Look at what you can get from them now. Your travel agent, I still love going to my travel agent. They're gone. Tens of thousands of them gone because people go online to Trivago or Travelocity or whatever it is, and they get whatever they need online. Everything is changing, and it's come to real estate. We have a 10-year head start on the big corporations. So here we go. Glenn Sanford, genius level IQ. And what he created was the first cloud-based real estate company in North America, really the world. We have over 500 people that work in the cloud full-time. 500. I mean, we exist in the cloud. We're going to explain what that is. But probably the best way to explain it is Netflix. Have you been to the Netflix store and gotten your movie? No. It's online. It's cloud-based, point, click, there's your movie. Blockbuster, if you remember them, they were competing with Hollywood Video and mom and pop video stores. They pretty much wiped out the mom and pop video stores. Then they took down their competitor, Hollywood Video, which I loved Hollywood Video. And I was mad when they went bankrupt and I had to go to stupid Blockbuster to get my movies, right? Anybody ever go to a Blockbuster? They were 100% dominant. It'd be like Coldwell Banker putting everybody out of business. And in 5 years, the cloud-based competitor put them out of business. They bankrupted a $6 billion company in 5 short years. Baby, this is where it's at. You got Amazon, you got Airbnb. In fact, Airbnb is a good one. You got Tony Robbins here. He noticed at one of his events recently, he does business masterminds, that Hilton's an American success story. Been around 99 years, almost 100 years, valued at $18 billion. And what happens is a competitor comes in, Airbnb. It's not just a bed and breakfast. It's Airbnb. It's cloud-based. And basically, it started 10 years ago, now valued at $31 billion. See, when you get online, the world becomes your oyster. So we have EXP. We're online. We're a cloud campus. We have no desk fees because we don't have any offices. You will get an office. That's the biggest misconception. I joined EXP. I don't have an office. I'm going to explain to you how you have a beautiful office, nicer than the one you work at now. So keep listening. You can work from anywhere, cuts the overhead. We put our money not into expensive, behemoth, antiquated commercial leases, but we put them into technology that supports the agent educationally and drives leads to your phone, right to your hand. People want to list their home like now. People who want to buy their home like now. Oh, that sounds really good to me. And we have a partnership with Regis Corporation. Regis Corporation is a company who creates business type hubs worldwide. They have 2,000 of these things. In Sacramento, there's 8 offices. I have 8 offices. I had 5 Keller Williams. Now I have 8 offices to work out of with Regis. Now, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I used to just tell you. Let me show you. So this is a Regis. They're nice glass conference rooms, private suites if you want one. EXP went to Regis and said, we'll take 25,000 memberships. And normally you pay about $100 a month to $500 a month, probably New York and San Francisco, probably $500 a month. But it depends upon where you are as to what you pay and what your needs are. Every EXP agent gets a Regis membership. You come in here, there's internet cafes, there's coffee, tea, hot chocolate for your clients' sons, multiple secretaries at the front desk, private conference rooms to meet with your clients, copiers, scanners, everything you need to do your business. There's 4 pillars for EXP. Number 1 is leads. Number 2 is training and education. Number 3 is ownership. Our agents actually own the broker, the company, not just the franchise, the whole company. They're shareholders in the company. And number 4, we share revenues because our agents are owners. They actually share in the revenues of a massive company that's on the NASDAQ valued at over $500 million. They share in the revenues. Pretty different. So let's start with pillar number 1. Lead generation. We offer a website called KV Core. You ever wonder how agents sell 80, 100, 200, 300 homes a year, 800 homes a year? They have sophisticated high-end websites that are very expensive. This one is $600 a month and you sign a 1-year contract. You don't like it after 2 or 3 months, you're still paying them over $7,000 because you signed a 1-year contract. Every EXP agent gets one of these websites. Our tech fee is $50 a month. So you could say it costs $50 a month versus $600. Now you do need to advertise, spend a little money on advertising. Most agents spend $100 a month, some spend $200. The ones that are going big time spend $250. That's pretty much the advertising, but you don't have to do it. It's optional. But most of our agents are getting 60 to 100 leads a month if they're spending the $250. I was spending $800 a month on Zillow for a Premier membership. I got 4 leads a month. I paid $200 a lead. $800 a month for that's $200 a lead. For $250, our agents are getting 60 to 100 leads a month to your phone. People want to list their home now. People want to buy a home now. I mean, that is exciting to me. So we're going to give you leads, which is what you need, and then we're going to train you. We actually have training and education. My old brokerage, what really delivered on that value proposition, I mean, hats off, kudos to Keller Williams. I was there. RE/MAX said it was a joke. It would destroy my career. I went there. It helped me. I loved the masterminds and the training and education. Amazing company. Hats off, no complaints. And they were 2 or 3 classes every day in my Keller Williams. Now, some Keller Williams were as big, they'd only had 1 or 2 a day. But compared to my old brokerage, RE/MAX, we had a class once a month, once every 2 months. I mean, 1 or 2 a day was a crazy, 2 or 3 a day. At EXP, we have 5 to 10 classes a day, sometimes 13 classes a day. Now, this particular class is not in the cloud. I call it a training class with skin on. And 3 years ago, we didn't exist. Today, we have 300, 400, 500 people come to our trainings. We just did one at our local board in Placer County. It was the largest turnout they'd ever had in the history of the board, which is a big deal. It was not Coldwell Banker. It wasn't Century 21. Those are great companies. I'm not picking on them. It was EXP because guess what? We're one big fire. We own the company together. In the past 100 years, it was whoever owned the Century 21 franchise, the Sotheby's franchise, the RE/MAX franchise, the Keller Williams franchise, the Coldwell Banker. The world was ruled by the franchise owners. Not anymore. It's changing. So we have all these wonderful classes and education, top producer panels. This is the top RE/MAX agent locally, now at EXP. Top Coldwell Banker locally, now at EXP. Top Keller Williams agent locally, now at EXP. Top independent locally, now at EXP. All 4 of those people joined in the last 6 to 12 months. This guy was Wall Street top 100 throughout the world. Marketing genius at EXP. It's pretty exciting what's going on. Then we do live training in the cloud. We have 5 to 10 classes a day, like I said, sometimes 13. And we do sales, listings, lead gen, social media, CRMs, tech tools, masterminds. Here's what it looks like. Here's the future. This will be different for you, but it's an avatar world. We have 500 full-time staff in the cloud. We have a full-blown marketing department to help you with your marketing. We have a full-blown brokerage department to help you with broker questions. At my old companies, if the broker wasn't in his desk and he was like, oh, he's off for a couple days, I'm stressed out. I'm like, what do I do? At EXP, we go into the world. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 brokers right there, and we can get our questions answered immediately. I have never experienced broker support at this level in my 23 years in the business. It is exceptional. And usually our brokers are people who have been brokers at Remax or Century 21 or Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams for 10, 15, 20 years. These are people with massive experience, but now they're at EXP. This is one of our auditoriums. It's a campus like a Harvard, a Stanford, a Yale, and there's auditoriums all over campus. There's so many amazing trainers that are now at EXP. And then you'll see billboards all over the campus talking about what classes are available for you to see today. And then if you can't make the class, maybe a business planning class for 2020, they record it and upload it, and you can watch it tonight when the kids go to bed. It's pretty cool. So excited about our training and education. So again, 4 pillars. Number 1, leads. Number 2, training. That is foundational. It's bedrock of who we are as a company. I had never had anybody deliver on both. The only company that ever really delivered was Keller Williams, and they delivered on the educational training and educational piece and masterminding. They totally delivered. I loved it. I never got any leads. At EXP, the day I turned my phone on, the leads started flowing 60 to 100 my first month. I just never had that experience at any other company. That's a big deal, and you cannot write that off. It's huge. And then what we do is we feather in ownership. What is that? Well, let's see. After 12 years, I left Remax as their star with nothing. Oh, I had escrows, 37 escrows, so I closed those after I got paid. I had nothing. I left Keller Williams after 8 years. I think we had 30 or 40 escrows and listings, and they all closed, and I have nothing. How many years have you been at your company? What do you have? I'll answer for you. Nothing. And so at EXP, we have stock awards to make you a shareholder. Rising tide rises all ships. Here's how it works. When you close your first transaction at EXP, you get stock. When you cap at EXP, you get stock. When you refer a friend to EXP and they join and they close their first sale, you get stock. We have an Icon Award if you sell about 30 homes or more typically. In San Francisco, 22. In Oklahoma, it might be 40. Depends upon the sales price of your home. But you can get $16,000 stock award. I got that 3 years ago, and the stock tripled, almost quadrupled. When I can cash it in April, this 3-year vesting, it'll probably be worth about $70,000. I capped 3 years ago at my brokerage, and now I'm getting back, not the cap, not the $16,000 cap. That's our cap at EXP. It's very competitive, 16 grand, that's it, no more. I'm getting it back, but it appreciated because they gave me stock. They didn't say, we'll give you your money back in 3 years, which would be 0% interest. Most of you would be thrilled to get the money back you paid your broker 3 years ago. That's 0% interest, and you'd be thrilled. I'm getting it back. It's already tripled, and I believe it will quadruple by April. I mean, are you kidding me? Now, and then we have the agent equity program where you can take 5% of your closings and you're able to purchase our stock, which now trades on the NASDAQ. We're no longer a penny stock, and get 10% off what everyone else pays on the street, which means you made 10% of your money the day you bought it. If it drops, then you get a 10% hedge. If it goes up 10%, you made 20% on your money. Mine tripled. That's 300%. It's about to quadruple, 400%. I'm really glad this is optional. The Agent Equity Program. Our founder developed a program for the agents to have equity. That's you. Our broker associates to have equity. That's you. Tell me about the Agent Equity Program that Coldwell Banker has, that Century 21 has, that Christie's has. There is no Agent Equity Program. Dave Lineker owns it all. He's a billionaire. Gary Keller, they're always very proud of. We at Keller Williams, debt-free, privately owned. Yeah, he owns it all. He's a billionaire. I was driving like crazy, getting 60 listings a year. I mean, you don't lay around and get 60 listings a year and have 6 listing specialists and 14 buyer specialists. I was busy. I worked hard every year. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Zero wrong with that. But I found a way to have some equity. If you work for a brokerage and you're not at EXP and you're not becoming a shareholder, you're renting your house. Stop renting your house. The 4th pillar is revenue sharing. What is revenue sharing? The most exciting thing to ever hit real estate. Companies, even if they had a heart to do it, couldn't because they were too busy paying for all their overhead. My old office had 28 employees. It had multiple copiers all over the business. They break down. You have to have a copier service contract. And then we had coffee. You run out of coffee, the agent's cool with that? No, we need more coffee, you know? And so we had a coffee contract. I can't even tell you the amount of overhead, okay? And so check this out. Because we don't have it, we're able to share revenues back to you. I'll give you an example. I was at RE/MAX for 10 years, referred 100 people, or 12 years, referred over 100 people. I mean, when you're doing well, people are like, yeah, can I get my license? Can I sell a home and make $5,000, $10,000 a house? I'm like, you bet you can. And so guess what I did? I started telling people about RE/MAX. In that 12-year period, I was given three $10 Starbucks cards. I got $30 worth of free coffee. Some people I referred were selling 20, 30, 40, 50 homes a year. One of them sold over 300. I got $30 worth of free coffee. All those people I referred, many of them who sold 20, 30, 40, 50 homes a year, that means RE/MAX got paid 20, 30, 40, 50 times a year, every year, from me referring that agent, year after year after year. Some of those people, I didn't even get a $10 Starbucks card. Are you with me? The one who sold over 320 homes in 1 year, 2004, my neighbor, Mike Pushek, look him up. RE/MAX got paid 320 times that year. I didn't even get a Starbucks card. The value is in referring the agent. It's like you get a listing, then you get 320 more listings. You get a listing, then you get 30 more listings. That's why people build real estate companies. It's incredibly good. You could be a super high paid salesman. That's what I was. That's what you are. If you're not doing this, you're a salesperson. So watch this. If you refer one person to EXP, that top line, tier 1, you get $2,800. EXP takes a $16,000 cap. That's our cap. It's $16,000 a year. What'd you pay your broker last year? People add up. Had a guy added up. He paid his broker $120,000 last year. Wow. Yeah, save over $100,000 a year. Now most people pay their broker $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. So, but still, I mean, if you're paying your broker $40,000 and now it's only $16,000, do the math. That is a $24,000 savings. If I gave you $24,000 to do some marketing to a particular farm where prices were, say, $600 to $1 million, and then you sell maybe another 10 of those and create another $200,000, $300,000 in revenue, would that help you? And currently you're giving it to your broker and they keep it. I call it keep it all real estate. Your broker keeps it and they have to pay for their overhead. Even if they wanted to give it to you, they could not. So here at EXP, we bring in 16 and we have none of the overheads I've mentioned. Other than we do have staff in the cloud. The cloud, there's no lease on the cloud. We own the cloud. We don't have to heat and cool the cloud. We don't have to janitorial service in the cloud. We have to provide coffee in the cloud. I digress. But if you refer one person, EXP pays you $2,800 of the 16th. They peel off bite-sized rewards, 28, 32, 2. And the more people you tell, to get to tier 2, you have to refer 5 people on the right-hand column. To get to tier 3, you refer 10. And it grows in increments of 5 all the way to tier 6 where you've referred 25. It's called compensation for contribution. If you contribute 25 agents to your company, what will your company pay you? I've gotten a free lunch, a breakfast, kind of thing. Usually nothing. Hey, thanks for sending Jody Bush. She's awesome. We love her here at Century 21. She's awesome. Man, I think she's going to sell 50 homes this year. We are so excited. I'll bet you are. I'll bet you are, right? Woo, that's awesome. And Jody's my friend. I'm happy for her. I never thought about that. Maybe I should be compensated for that. EXP is going to compensate you. Had someone ask me, well, can I do more than one? What if I told 10? What if I told 20? By the way, this 7-tier system was copied from Keller Williams. It's not copyrighted. They've been doing it for 25 years. They don't share revenue. They share profit. Because they can't share the revenue. It would bankrupt the company. They have massive overhead. They cannot share the revenues, but they can share profit. How much, if an office doesn't make a profit, how much do they share to their agents? Nothing. It's a brilliant system. If we have a little bit of profit, we'll share a little bit. If we have a lot of profit, we'll share more. And it's cool. After 8 years, I made $700 a month in profit sharing. Made my car payment. Thank you, Keller. I was glad. It was better than RE/MAX, right? I'm not putting RE/MAX down if you're here with RE/MAX. But here's the deal. That wasn't going to change my life. It wasn't going to help me retire with dignity, $700 a month, right? So watch this. He goes, well, what can I tell, like say 10? Yeah. He goes, so I get $2,800 a person times 10? I go, yeah, that's $28,000. He goes, wow. And I go, now, he goes, I'm going to do this. I said, well, that's not the best part. If those 10 stay next year and recreate the revenue next year, they pay you again. He goes, really? So I get 28 times, I get $56,000 for referring 10 agents? Yes, but that's not the best part. If they stay the third year, they pay you again. He's like, what? I go, yeah, it's revenue sharing. He's, when does it stop? I said, never. It's written into our charter. I have friends who got to EXP 10 years ago. They sponsored people. They became their sponsor. And guess what? They still get paid 10 years later because those agents are still here. They still get their revenue share a decade later. I've been here for over 3 years. I referred 40. By the way, if you refer 40 or more agents, it unlocks all 7 tiers, okay? And I get paid today a tremendous income from what I did 3 years ago. By the way, 3 years ago, I listed 60 homes personally. I had 6 listing specialists on my team. They listed homes. How much do I get paid today for the 60 homes I listed and sold 3 years ago? Nothing. It's been that way for 23 years. What do I get paid today for the 40 agents I referred to EXP for a better future? To be able to retire with dignity or at least have a shot at it? A tremendous income. Like, beyond my wildest dreams, and we'll get into a little bit of that. So, so if they stay for a decade, all 10, I get $28,000 a year for 10 years. That's like a $280,000. You go, yeah, like $250,000. We're telling 10? Yes, that's how it works. But we have a 5-year plan. Every agent they tell, you get $3,200. You actually get paid more to help them tell somebody. EXP pays you more if you'll take your eyes off yourself and help somebody else. Interesting. And then everyone they tell, 2, 12, this is how Keller Williams has operated for 25 years. They do profit sharing for 7 generations. It's a beautiful model. And so we copied it, but we do revenue sharing. So let me give you a 5-year example. Let's say this year you tell 10 people. I did, I think, 12 in the first 6 weeks, right, James? And, but let's say it takes you all year. And let's say in the next 5 years, this is just an example, you help each of those 10 that you told, tell 10. So if you take it over 5 years, that's 1 person every 6 months, 2 a year, times 5, all 10 will have told 10 at the end of 5 years. Do we agree? Now again, this is an example. I told 12 in 6 weeks, and 10 of those 12 all told 10 in the first 6 months. So the example I'm showing you here, I did in 6 months. It does not have to take 5 years. But it may take you 7 or 10 years. It may take you 3. I don't know, right? It's up to you. But if you tell 10, you get $2,800 an agent. If they're capping, that's $28,000. And then if you help them tell 10, 10 times 10 is 100 agents. By the way, I told 55 about my old company and I had hundreds in what's called my profit sharing tree. Hundreds. After 8 years, hundreds. Well, here, in 6 months, I told 10, help them all tell 10. I had 110 agents. But if you have 100 on tier 2 pays you $3,200 an agent. So if you have 100 times 32, that's 320 plus your 28, that's $348,000 a year. At this point, I'm like, you're kidding me. Are you serious? I mean, is outside of real estate commissions, outside of whatever it is you're already doing. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And one of the things I did is I'm good at about following a schedule. James, every Friday from 2 to 5, well, he was helpful because at 2:15, if I wasn't there calling agents, I would call I didn't call 50 agents or 30 agents. I would call 3 to 5 people I knew. Been doing it 23 years. I have relationship capital. I treated people right. I had people who liked me. I called the people who liked me who had good energy. Most people like me, right? And so most people like you. And I called those with good energy. I called 3 to 5 every week. And I probably talked to 2 or 3 throughout the week. But I was purposeful and intentional on Fridays. It was the expansion Friday. And every month, I think I probably talked to about 7 a week, maybe 30 a month, right? And every month, 3 or 4 switched companies. It wasn't like they all switched. Many of them said, well, we'll see how it goes for you. I'm not sure it'll work. We'll see. Timing's bad. I just left Remax and went to Coldwell Banker. I just left Coldwell Banker and went to Century 21. I just, wherever they go. But maybe in a year, I'll see how it goes. But 40 of them said I'm in. That's all I did. That's all I did. And the difference was profound. I thought, I think this will work. Now, you notice this was 10. I did 40. So instead of getting 348, I got a lot more. You do the math, okay? Now watch this. As it grows over the years, 8 months later, I got to 40. At unlocked tier 7, I had 10 capping agents on tier 7. A capping agent is someone who pays in $16,000 the company. In Sacramento, it means you sell 8 to 10 homes in Sacramento. In San Francisco, San Jose, 2. LA, 3. But here's the deal. I had 10 here. 10 agents at 4,000 agents is $40,000 a year. I unlocked $40,000 a year of income because I referred 40 plus agents. Pretty cool. Today, on level tier 2, I think we have about 280 agents?
About 325.
About 325. How about tier 3?
We have 690.
690 in tier 4?
1430.
James is my CO, Chief Operating Officer. He does them 1,400. Then we have like 1,300 in tier 7. How many agents do we have on tier 7?
We just went over 1260.
1,200 agents on this tier alone. Now let's just say 500 of them cap. They sell 8 to 10 homes a year on average. Usually we'll do it around America. And 500 cap, what's 100 times $4,000? 400,000. If you have 500 of those, that's $2 million. But not everybody's going to cap. I want to cover this. What's it take to cap? Typically 8 to 10 sales. Do we know agents who sell 4? Yes, that'd be a half a cap, 4 or 5. That'd be half a cap. So you get half. You get 1,400, you get 1,600, you get 1,000. Half a cap, half the payout. They don't have to cap to get paid. Every month on the 22nd, we revenue share from the following month's closings. So January 22nd is next week for me. I'm going to get paid revenue share from closings in December, okay? Which is more than I used to make in an entire year. It's pretty awesome. Now here's the cool thing. This grows and grows and grows as the years go by. It is amazing. One thing that I am beyond excited about is the new 50-50 initiative that our founder, Glenn Sanford, put in place. He committed to giving us half of all the revenues of EXP forever. So in other words, if 100 million comes into the company, 50 million goes out to the agents of revenue share. Not profit share, it's 50 million. $250 million, 125 million. $500 million, 250 million, $250 million back to the agents who helped build the company. It's one team, one dream. It's one big fire. We own it with our owner. I did not own RE/MAX with Dave Liniger. Even though I was the star agent in California selling hundreds of homes every year. I didn't own Keller Williams with Gary Keller. He's a great man. They're a great company. I left the company I love because I didn't want to be a renter anymore. If you don't own Coldwell Banker, you're just renting a desk, your little office. You know, they give me one for free. Of course, they'll make you as comfortable as you can in that little spot. Don't leave because you're making them a fortune. And so the 50-50 initiative is amazing. So here's how it works. If the company gets, say, 55% of the revenues and the agents only get 45%, that means the company got an extra 5%. So they're going to take 5% extra and add it to all these. In other words, it's possible to get more than 2,800 for telling someone you could get 3,200. It's possible to get more than 3,200. You could get 4,000. He's going to add it back to you. He's only going to keep 50. But it can work the other way. If we're at 45%, the company's at 45%, we get 55% of the revenues, we give back 5% to balance this number to a 50-50. Now here's the cool part. EXP is bringing on ancillary services like moving services. You ever refer a mover? How about a pest company, Terminix Clark's? How about satellite or security? How about a home warranty? How about all the other companies that we refer all the time? Well, guess what? Now we're going to order from individual companies. There's 26,000 of us. There'll be 100,000. It's going to spin off profit. Now, the way I used to tell this is it'll make EXP highly profitable. They're going to make all that money, which will cause the stock to go up or down. Profitable companies, typically the stock goes north, right? So we're going to benefit indirectly by using these ancillary services that we all spin off, right? We always do title, mortgage, escrow, all this stuff. Now they're going to go, oh my gosh, we made $40 million in profits from ancillary services. We're going to give $20 million back to the agents. We made $100 million in ancillary. You get 100,000 agents, you can make $100 million in ancillary services. We have $50 million back to the agents, and they're going to add it to this side of the equation. I'm telling you, I could not be more excited about this. You're actually going to get to the point, I believe, where all of our agents are making far more than what you see on this board. That's the power of this 50-50 initiative. I could not be more excited. Okay? So we're going to move on, and we're going to conclude with this. Who do you talk to? Anybody throughout the US or Canada. Basically, we have a back office. We run it all with Enterprise, SkySlope, leading CRM, lead generation, branding, marketing, workplace. This is your back office. Everybody gets one of these. You can click on any of these buttons and learn about lead generation, charitable giving. There's marketing materials, customizing, branding, merchandise, faculty program, becoming a mentor. It's a very clean website. You can learn a lot about our company. Here's my website, BrentGoveResources.com. Everything I know about building this company is here. If you want to learn what I know about this company, if you want to do a deeper dive on EXP, go to BrentGoveResources.com. It's all there for everybody in North America. We want to help you. One team, one dream. When I was at RE/MAX, if I helped a guy in Orlando, Florida kill it, it meant nothing to me financially. At EXP, if you're in Orlando and you kill it, I benefit totally because we own the company together. This is different. I was proud of my fellow RE/MAX agent who did well in Orlando or New York or Denver, but it didn't mean anything to me financially. Now it means something to all of us. We all benefit. Basically, join the company. Everyone's talking about the Amazon of real estate. That was our founder's vision. We're now being called the Amazon of real estate. I like it. We also have a wonderful summary sheet here. Our split is an 80-20. It's a very generous split. It's not the highest. It's not the lowest. It's very competitive. Everybody's on an 80-20. Everybody. The cap is 16. Once you pay in 16, you go to a 100% commission split. And then once you're at 100%, James, we cap every year the first month, right? Yeah, month and a half. Then every sale thereafter is just a 250 transaction fee. That doesn't kick into your cap. If you haven't capped, it's 80-20. There's no 250 transaction fee. Make sense? Once you do 20 transaction fees at 250, you actually win a $16,000 stock award. You actually earn your cap back in the form of stock. How much did you pay your broker 3 years ago? And how much will you get back this year? I know what I'm getting back. It's pretty cool. Startup costs, $149, one-time startup fee. You get 1,000 business cards. You get beautiful EXP brochures. Our tech fee is $50 a month. You get SkySlope. You get a Regis Corporate Suite membership. You get Breakthrough Broker, and you get KV Core, which is a lead-generating website with a built-in CRM. Our university educational fee is $35 a month, a little over $1 a day to plug into those 5 to 10 to 13 classes a day. $25 broker review fee every day on every file. It's a nominal fee. Broker eats $25. Make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. We use SkySlope. It's the #1 system in America by all companies. E&O is $40 per sale, capped at $500 a year. You will not pay more than $500 a year. If you're an independent broker, you pay a lot more than $500 a year for E&O, right? Some of you pay $5,000, $10,000 a year, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year. But here's the deal. At EXP, $500, you're done. If something goes crazy, you're not the broker of record for you independents. EXP is. It's a big deal to get that liability. You will sleep better at night. So that's how this works. Finally, our growth is through the roof. We have 25,000 agents, I think 26,000 this month. We're in all 50 states. We're in the UK, we're in Australia, we're in, I think, 6 provinces of Canada. I mean, I was just thinking about Sacramento. Where are you from? Phoenix? You know, Miami? That was your world. You're going to embrace EXP. The world is your oyster because your friends know people in Fort Lauderdale, in Chicago. Bottom line, our core values, one of them is fun. We're having a blast. EXP, making real estate fun again. We're not burned out. We're excited. We bounced out of bed. Do you remember, Stroop? We bounced out of bed at 6 a.m. We couldn't wait to get up. We were so excited, and we still are 3 years later. It's amazing beyond our wildest dreams. Here is what you do. Your next step, if you want to learn more about this company, is go to join.exprealty.com and apply. When you get there, this is what you see, and you apply as agent. Go ahead and get yourself approved. If you like what you see, get approved. Doesn't mean you're at our company, because you have to physically move your license at whatever company you're at. Until you move your license, you're at whatever company you're at. You could do this safely, but what you'll get is an independent contractor's agreement where you can read in black and white everything I've just told you. So this is a great way to do diligence. Join.exprealty.com. The person who's your sponsor is the person who told you about this and got you excited about this. So that's who your sponsor is. Put them down as your sponsor. And then finally, here is our founder, Glenn Sanford, the day we were on the NASDAQ this past year. We were a penny stock. Now we're on the NASDAQ. Only 50 companies in the world uploaded to the NASDAQ last year out of millions of corporations. This is a big, big deal. Many would like to be there. Only 50 were hand-selected to be there. EXP is one of those companies. We're super proud of that. Here's our founder, Glenn Sanford, hitting the closing button, shutting down the world financial markets. We could not be more excited about our company. It's a big deal. We do events like we're going to do Mexico in about next month. We go to beautiful resorts. We mastermind together. We have stuff happening in Orlando, Florida, our shareholder summit. We're going back to Scottsdale, to Marriott Desert Ridge. for a mastermind. This is one of my favorites right here in Dallas this August 26, 27, 28. We'll be at the Gaylord Resort. It is a 5-star wrapped with an 18-hole or a couple 18. It's stunning. We go to splashy venues. Our agents are having a blast. And guess who's going to come hang out with us and teach us how to go next level in our life? Tony Robbins. So come to our events, and they're super expensive. This 3-day event is $197. So just kidding there. But sound affordable to you? I don't know. I remember going to some conventions for some of my prior companies. It's a wee bit more than $197, and Tony Robbins was never there. And then we have November 9th through the 11th, our annual convention in Las Vegas. It's going to be great. Don't miss it. But mainly, I just want to encourage you to do this, to take a deeper dive for EXP. Because listen to me. You think, I don't know if it'll work. I didn't know if it'd work either. But I can promise you this. If you stay at your old brokerage, it's an independent brokerage, it's Coldwell Banker, it's RE/MAX, it's Sotheby's, it's Central, whatever it is, you stay there, I will find you in 5 years at your desk. I'm not kidding. I've just did 23 years. I will find you in 10, 15 years at your desk or in Starbucks racing to meet a buyer, running to meet a seller to that listing presentation. Well, I have a team. You know, trying to get your agents not to quit or whatever it is if you have a team. I'm going to find you and you're going to be grinding 5, 10, 15 years from now because you never built anything. We're going to help you do this. We're going to roll up our sleeves. One big fire. We're working together. Check this company out. Best business decision I have ever made. I look forward to meeting you at one of the EXP events. Thanks for having me today. And hello, everybody. We are live. Great to have you with us. And I have Noelle Nielsen from Minnesota on. Super excited. And then Tina's gonna hit her. You gotta hit share video and unmute your mic there, Tina. And Tina Call from North Carolina. 2 superstar dynamo women in real estate that have made the hyperlink jump to EXP. And so pretty excited about that. There you are, Tina. How are you?
I'm great.
Good, good, good. And Noelle, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Awesome. So 2 women I respect greatly. I can't believe you guys didn't know each other here. So the 2 of you, you guys are like sisters from another mother. You're 2 peas in a pod. You need to get to know each other. Shining examples of the kind of people that EXP attracts. And so let's see, we'll start with Noelle. You're on my left. So we're gonna start with Noelle Nielsen. She is from Minnesota and just a rock star. By the way, when this was all over, we're gonna fade out with your video, that new video you made. It is so cool. I cannot wait for
Which one?
Oh yes, oh yeah, we're gonna wrap up. We get it all teed up. But so let's start with you, Noelle, real quick. With then we're gonna go to Tina. But Noelle, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how long have you been in real estate? You know, what have you done? What are your brag on yourself a little bit so people know who's on the phone. It's okay. I'm asking you to do it. Look at that smile. You both have $1 million smiles. And then so first tell me a little bit about yourself, and then I'm going to ask you some questions.
Sure. Well, I will preface this by saying I'm a mom right now at home in yoga gear, homeschooling my kids and trying to get this all done, just like all of you. And so right now, what I am the most thankful for is this. And, you know, it was very ironic last week. I went to go into EXP World to do something, and I didn't know that they had it all decorated for St. Patrick's Day. And there was a big rainbow in the world. And I was like, you know what? This really is the rainbow for me right now. It is the rainbow of everything. The fact that we took our little brokerage, we had a brokerage before, and we merged it onto the EXP platform. Because for me, it's just a big relief. Like, I can go into my virtual office and meet with my team in my office. But all right, let's back up. So I am a mom. I've got 3 little ones at home, 8, 7, and 5. Married to my husband, who is an attorney who's working right side by side with me today. At home, we just got announced that we're going to have the shelter in place starting this week here in Minnesota.
It's no big deal. You get over it in about 7 days. This is
Well, I mean, we've already been kind of doing it, so
day 10 for us. We're fine.
yeah, we're not too worried. Not
So
too worried.
tell us, how long have you been in real estate?
I have been in the business 6 years now,
Oh my,
and
you're a baby. You're like such a, I figured you were going to say like 23 years. So you started off and you built this
Yeah.
team, and you turned it into a brokerage,
Yep.
and it's an independent kind of a boutique brokerage. How many people at your brokerage?
Yep, that's right. So we started this, well, I started doing real estate when I got I've got a very odd background, as you know, Brent. I'm actually an attorney by trade, turned into a wedding photographer. And then when I started getting sick of weddings, I reached what I thought was like the pinnacle of my wedding photography career. I went and got my real estate license.
That's a crazy background. I knew none of that. So this is all news to me. Like, I just know you as a superstar real estate agent.
Yeah. Well, so when I used to practice law, I practiced real estate law. And that was kind of the background behind that, was I wanted to go back into doing some of the real estate stuff, but more on the forefront of sales. I wanted to do sales. So we use all of our creative stuff from my wedding photography days and we spin it in with.
This is why your video and now it's all coming together for me. I wasn't born yesterday, but I might have been. I'm finally connecting all the dots right here live on national Zoom, TV, whatever this is. So,
well,
okay. And
so
how big did you build your brokerage, your boutique?
So we were open about 9 months before we started considering EXP, actually. So we quickly grew the brokerage. We were at 20 people when we made the switch.
In 9 months, that's pretty good.
In 9 months. And what caused us to start looking at it was quickly within running a brokerage, I realized it wasn't actually what I thought I wanted to do. Number one, even though our brokerage was having a lot of success, it was doing very well. I had been told that it was going to take us a while to become profitable. We became profitable within the first 6 months of operating. And I then also realized all the liability, even for us as two lawyers, that came with running a brokerage. All it takes is one person to decide that they did not have a good time in a transaction, and who hasn't had that experience? I never had that experience myself as an agent. And so I was like, it's going to be fine, whatnot. And you start adding agents in as a little brokerage or even as a big team leader, right? You have liability there. And we just decided, hey, this might not be everything that it's all cracked up to be. So that was the first piece. And then the second piece was the gentleman that I signed up underneath ended up meeting my husband at a mastermind that we're all a part of, and started telling him, hey, you should really be looking at the numbers behind EXP. You should just look at it. Because I had already slammed the door shut. I had wanted nothing to do with EXP personally. I was like, I got my own brand. We got a brokerage. I had a lot of pride behind it. And he started looking at the numbers. And then I was convinced that I needed to look at the numbers too. And as soon as we did, it kind of just all of a sudden made sense. Yeah, it made sense.
I love that. Look at the numbers. That's a great approach for people to use. Hey, would you at least just look at the numbers?
Well, and I think for really analytical people, which he's a lot more analytical than I am, but we're both lawyers. We're kind of analytical that way. Numbers were what actually made sense to us from the beginning. It was the numbers piece of it. And then everything else followed suit after that. The virtual world for me initially, that was like the last thing that I actually cared about. And now here we are sitting, well, for you, you're on day 10 of this. I actually just got to go in and see my new little office space that Rosie has gotten for me. I have a little office now in the world, and I decorated it in the world, and I can do meetings in there. And
by the way, who sponsored you at EXP? Who is your sponsor? Who enrolled you?
Mike Bjorkman.
Mike Bjorkman. That's
Yep.
what I thought. That part I was pretty sure on. And then David Golden and Rosie Rodriguez, Rick Jiha, makes sense. So that's the team that's come together to do this. So So you've been with this how long now?
So we are at about our 6-month mark.
Okay. And how many people have you personally enrolled for EXP roughly on your front line? People that you said, hey, take a look at this, look at the numbers, would love your opinion. How many have you enrolled? 10, 15, 20?
Well, it kind of flipped because we just had that new rule that came in place, which I actually really agree with that
No, no,
rule.
no. I'm just asking how many have you
Talk
enrolled?
about it.
The rule doesn't apply to my question. How many, how many
It's
have
pretty
you
close to
enrolled in
20.
6
It's
months?
pretty close to
What?
20. It's pretty close to 20.
Nice, nice. So you're 20 on your front line that you have enrolled.
Yes. Yep.
Good. And then and this year you're only 6 months in, but how many people do you hope to have in your EXP organization, say 1 year from today with the momentum you've built? Where do you see yourself about a year from today if you had to forecast a number of how big your EXP sales organization would be?
I would say at the pace, it's kind of funny how it does start multiplying on itself. I didn't know what to expect with it, but I'm seeing it happening. I would guess we should at least be at about 1,000 underneath my organization, but
It's
we
like a positive coronavirus. It's
yeah.
like it's
Next
positively
me.
contagiously.
Yes.
You have that contagious personality, or I don't know what
It's
that
the virus you want to
there you
catch.
go. That infectious personality, and it's a positive coronavirus. 1,000. Would you have ever dreamed that little boutique brokerage would grow to 1,000 in your wildest dreams?
No,
And
absolutely
then would you want to be liable? Would you want to
not.
be liable for, and how many
No.
states do you think you'll be in a year from now? 10, 15, 20 states? 30?
I would say probably 15 or so. You know, the way that we've been growing, I've been on a few different national platforms. So initially I thought that I was going to grow on a national level before I grew on a local level. And what ended up happening was I've been growing much faster on a local level than I ever thought I was going to grow. And it's been really surprising to me to watch that, because when I originally was crunching numbers and we were looking at it, and I kind of made my list of the people that I thought that I might be able to talk to about EXP, I didn't realize how many people locally were going to turn their heads when we made the switch. And
Wow.
it was instant, really. When we made the switch, I was flooded with people asking why did you guys do that? So
Beautiful.
it's been
Love it,
great.
because people have respect for you. Two last questions, and I'm going to go to Tina. We're running out of time, so I'm going to ask for quick answers. But what was it that attracted you to EXP mainly? Besides, obviously, you don't want to be liable for 200 agents or 1,000 agents. Besides the liability, you mentioned the numbers. What was it? What do you mean by the numbers? What was it? The number one thing that really resonated with you?
Collaboration is the number one thing for me. So incentivizing agents monetarily to collaborate with each other is the most genius thing that I have ever seen. And I can see it actually happening. And when we had really productive agents at our brokerage, other teams had started approaching them about EXP. And I realized, hey, a EXP can offer something to these agents that I care so much about. I need to look at it and see, is there something that we are missing? Is there something that is better for them than what I currently am giving them? And at the end of the day, we decided, hey, actually, Brent, you and I had a phone call, and I said, I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to come with me or not. And you said, I had to get to this point where I knew that that was the right choice to get to on my own, whether they came with me or not. And I got to that point because I knew that for them, really, it's like feeding them medicine. It is the best situation. It's the best place for them to be. And so we ended up making the switch, and 100% of our brokerage came with us.
Awesome. Same here, 100%. The tail doesn't wag the dog wags the tail. You are the leader. They will follow you, or maybe you're not, you are, but whoever's watching this. Okay. I'm going to switch gears. I think I asked all the questions I wanted. If you want to chime in after Tina, but you got it. You guys, I fell in love with Noelle. She's amazing. I know your husband's right there. I mean that the right way, husband. I don't know your husband's name. I probably do. What is your husband's first name?
Seth.
Seth?
Seth.
Seth,
Yep.
I mean that the right way. I know he's listening. Hey, Seth, it's all brotherly love, agape, whatever the word is. Okay, so Tina, we got Tina called Dynamo from North Carolina. Tina, what part of North Carolina are you in? And tell us your background.
Yeah, so we're in Raleigh, North Carolina, about to go on lockdown today. Woohoo! So yeah, so I've been in the business 20 years. My first day of real estate was 9/11, if you could believe that.
Oh my
That was my first day of real estate. So, so this crisis feels so much like that crisis.
Interesting
Yeah,
perspective.
very, very similar reactions in the public. So I started in Michigan, actually. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina now, but I started in Michigan for 7-8 years there. Went through the 2006 crash. At that time, I was a top agent in my office doing 35 transactions, but lost half of my income. Ran into the top real estate broker in our market who was making over $1 million. She said, I picked her brain. She said, you have to get a coach. So I got a coach, and that coach gave me the certainty to be able to take my business anywhere. I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina in 2010. Didn't know a soul with my husband, who
Where
I've
were
been
you living prior to that? Where were you living prior to?
in
What?
Michigan.
Michigan, okay. Gotcha.
Detroit, Michigan. Yep. So 7 years, eight years, I sold real estate there, and was considered a top agent with a GMAC Real Estate was the brokerage. So anyway, we pack up and move everything to Raleigh, North Carolina in 2010 in the middle of a crash. And so with my new coaching, I hit expireds and FSBOs really strong and got from 40 deals our first year to 5 years in, I peaked out at 130 transactions personally without any help except for my assistant and my.
I
So,
can't even.
I
I was
don't
doing.
want to believe
I
it.
cannot imagine that.
I was a crazy person. So
Yes, you
but-
are officially crazy.
yes, but out of that need, going from a single agent to that capacity, I started to grow a team. And so I joined, I had 2 agents join me, 2 buyer agents, and we got to about 180 transactions with the 3 of us. And so from there though, you're exhausted, 20 years in the business, you're selling all these transactions, you're on this treadmill. And so I was with RE/MAX for 8 years here in the Triangle, and I loved it, but I was paying $80,000 a year. And I thought the numbers, like Noelle said, it doesn't make sense, right? So I knew I wanted to build a team, but I had to cut costs. So Keller Williams was recruiting me for 4 years, and I kept saying, no, I'm not going to that company. All they do is recruit. That was my perception of Keller. But finally, when I looked at their numbers, it made sense for me at the time, 23,000 numbers, right? I went to Keller. I loved it. I thought it was a great company, but you look at having 10 agents on the team, they're each spending $13,000. There's 130 grand. I'm spending 23. I was going to go independent. I was going to do what you did, what Noelle did. And so, but when I started thinking about going independent, it made me nervous, all of that overhead and expense. Thank God, I kiss her feet to this day. Thank God my friend Michelle Sayward from Michigan, and Mark Z, they both called me one day and they're like, what do you mean you're going independent? You got to look at EXP. And I said, hell no. I said, the only agent I know in my market is an agent I do not respect. I am not going to that company. I said, all those avatars, that's not me. And so they bugged me for 2 months. I literally got mad at Michelle because she kept driving me nuts.
She was a good friend of yours, right?
Was a good friend. So I met her 10 years ago. I would room with her at all of our events through the Mike Ferry coaching system and the training. And so,
okay.
but I just thought, you're not going to I thought she wanted me for a commission. She wanted to make rev share off of me. And it was so silly because I didn't know the numbers. And so finally she called me and she said, Tina, call. I feel like I met Jesus Christ. I invited him to dinner and you don't even want to come and meet him. And I said, Michelle, if it's
Now
that
that's a new approach. I've got the knob. Again, I'm learning new approaches here.
well, she just had to get it. And I said, fine, if this means so much to you, I'll watch your dumb video. And it was 10 o'clock at night. And I remember laying in bed and I was watching the Rob Flick video. And my God, my mind was blown. I stayed up till 3 in the morning taking copious notes, right? I could not stop thinking. And so for me, you know, when you think about you're an individual agent, now you're building a team. I was training my competition literally to go out and leave me eventually and go build against me. And that was my mindset at the time. If I let these agents come in and list, I had 10 agents at the time. I was the only one listing. They were my buyer agents, but I was exhausted. And I knew that I wanted to finally, you know, have some leverage and time. And so when I saw EXP, I thought, my God, this gives my team the opportunity to build a team within a team with zero overhead. So I've just given my people opportunity. I've given my people the ability to list and to buy without me, the leader, having the fear of them leaving me and going and building it themselves, right? And now if they want to go build it themselves, I bless you, child, go, please build it bigger than me. And so it was for me an opportunity to monetize my brain, to take everything that I've learned in 20 years and to finally have the opportunity to give back in a way where I had no more fear of doing that. Because, you know, number one, we all want to watch out for our families, right? We're all in this to survive. We want money, we want security, and we want recognition. And that's what realtors crave. And so I had the recognition. We have 9,000 agents. I was top 5 in my market. And so I had all that, but there was nowhere else to go, right? So there's nowhere else to move but, you know, sell the business, which you can't.
Work harder. Work harder.
Right?
Sell 200 homes a year.
Well, yeah, you know, we sold that year with EXP, or before EXP, we sold 270 homes. And it was, if you want to make more, you want to net more, I had to figure out a way to replace the 100 listings that I was still doing and still did last year. So to replace listings, I had to bring in a bunch of agents, but now I'm running a mini brokerage under KW. And they're all going to leave me eventually, right? People aren't going to work for 50-50 splits forever.
Right.
And so EXP for me made sense because I didn't need leads and training, which it had. I needed revenue share and I needed stock. Those were the two pillars that I was able to bring into my business. And so as entrepreneurs, we want opportunity, right? We want to bring in opportunity. And you go from individual agent to team leader to broker owner. That's the ceiling. That's it, right? So I thought about it for such a long time, and finally I said, I'm going to try this. What do I have to lose? It's $149. Even if I hate it, I'm going to take the little logo off my card like I did with Remax and replaced it with KW. I'm just going to replace the EXP and go independent. So what do I have to lose? And I remember we had 60 pending properties when we moved over to EXP. It was scary. It was scary. And so when we moved over, though, the amazing thing that happened, which proved to me that there was a need and a necessity that the real brokerage model was broken, was the 2 of the top 10 agents called me immediately and said, what are you doing? Why did you go? Like Noelle, they just called me. I didn't have to recruit. They just called me. And you know Marty Hampton.
Not all of us were that fortunate, Tina. Some of us had to actually work for a living.
I know. Well,
they just call you. I had to call everybody.
Well, that's because we're cuter than you. That's just the reality.
That's exactly right, too. No.
I know.
But you are cuter than me. Yes, I wasn't saying you weren't cuter than me.
So, no, but I think that is just the reality is that, you know, we had created the relationships, we had created the respect. But, you know, you don't need to be a top producer to do this. I remember I went to my first EXP event, and one of these guys, I won't say his name because I'm going to say personal numbers, but he came up to me and he said, hey, I'm in your market. Do you know who I am? And I said, well, I don't really know you. He said, you wouldn't know me. I sell 2 homes a year. I said, really? He said, in 3 years, I've recruited 25 people to EXP that's turned into almost 300, and I make $20,000 a month. He said, if I can do that without a name in the business, he said, I can't imagine what you can do. And so that was when I knew I was in the right place.
That happens all the time. I could name 100 people like that. It's a great story.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
man, both of you are just great examples. The quality agents we've attracted to EXP. Chuck Keller in Beverly Hills, Peter Millar in La Jolla. We have agents in Newport Beach, New York, all over. High-end people list 20, 30, $40 million mansions. We have hardworking agents who sell 2 homes a year. You guys are 2 total workhorses. I want to play Noelle's video going out, but any final thoughts either one of you would like to share to someone who's maybe watching this and considering EXP? Any parting bit of advice for them?
I would say, oh,
Okay.
go ahead. It does not get easier to make the decision. The one thing that I've watched and that I personally went through was taking forever to come to the yes, and wishing that I had just said the yes initially when I started thinking about it, and watching all my friends go through with that struggle. And we make a joke about EXP insomnia, because as people start thinking about it, they get this like thought process where they can't sleep. It starts affecting them. Like, just make the switch. Just make it, because otherwise you're going to just put yourself through personal torture the longer you wait to take that switch. So
Beautiful advice. Tina?
For me, it was more an ego risk. It was, what will people say? What will people think? The magic and beauty in this is, and I tell every person that's sitting in front of me, we're not recruiting, we're attracting. And I always tell every agent in front of me, it's, I'm not going to make that much off of you. That's the reality. I have money. I do really well. That $2,800 won't change my life, but what it will change is this. If I can teach that person how to fish, and they can teach 10 more, and those 10 teach 10, that's 100 lives that we've changed by one yes. And so that's the magic. That's the beauty in it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Could have said it better. By the way, for me, I was so okay failing EXP. I could care less. For me, I was just like, whatever, if this makes sense, I'm going to leave Keller Williams. It took them 9 years to recruit me. It took EXP 2 weeks. It was, the numbers were undeniable. I mean, it just, if you're not ready to move, you don't get the numbers. You need to spend some time and see the numbers. I had 15 buyer's agents, or 18 of them at Keller Williams, at $18,000 a year each. Yep. $18,000 a year. If you 10 is $180,000 a year. I had 15. I spent $250,000 a year to Keller Williams just to run my team. It was insane. And so I agree with everything you said, but I was just like, well, I'll go try it for 6 months. It's either going to work or not. If not, I'll go back to Keller Williams. Maybe I'll go to RE/MAX. Maybe I'll go independent. But I want to say this. I forgot to ask you a vital question. How many agents have you personally enrolled for EXP now? How long have you been with us, Tina? How long?
So April 4th will be my first year. And
you're coming up on a year.
Yep.
And how many agents have you personally enrolled with EXP so far?
So 14 were my team, but 43 total frontline in the year. And
Good.
Then that's
so you're twice as long as Noelle, and you have about twice what she has in 6 more months. She'll be right there with you at 43. You just said she has a new goal. Trust me. She's like, oh,
I got a new goal.
44 a year. I promise you it'll be 44 or more. I know Noelle. And then 1 year from now, with the momentum you have, where do you see your business a year from now? And you can't say 1,001. She already said, what do you honestly believe 1 year from now with the momentum you have? How many in your organization?
I think, we're 153 in 1 year. I think with where we are, I don't know that we'll hit 1,000. I'm thinking my first, second year will be about 600-700 agents. I hope it's more. I don't know, but I'm probably being,
Now here's the cool part, Tina. How many independent brokerages start off and 24 months later have 600 or 700 agents and broker associates?
Well, that's it. That's
across it. How many states you think you'll be in?
I'm already in 12 states and with 150.
So, in a year, I would not be surprised if you're in 30 or more states. You will literally be in 100 or more cities. Talk about an expansion model. You won't sign a single commercial lease. You're not the broker of record in those 30 states. EXP is the broker of record. You don't have the liability, which Noelle and her husband, very much Seth, haven't forgot Seth, easy Seth, But anyways, but they can tell you
What
something.
else is exciting, Brent? You know, I was thinking here I'm stuck in my home and I can't sell homes right now, let's just say. And we've got thousands of dollars coming in from agents. It's such a blessing. One of my agents called me and cried. She said, I got $2,000 from RevShare the other day. Thank you for making me come here. And
Wow.
feels good, right? It
It'll
feels
pay a mortgage.
Yes, it will pay
Or
more.
a piece of mortgage depending upon where you live. Or
Not in
two
California.
mortgages depending upon where you live. Okay, so you guys did so great today. I'm going to do this again tomorrow, same time, same place, 12:30 p.m. in Roseville. I'm normally there in person doing a lunch and learn. Well, tomorrow, 12:30 Pacific, we're going to do a Zoom and learn. The same link you got here will get you on tomorrow for everybody watching. Bring a guest, bring a friend, share it with them. And don't just send it to people. Have conversations. Ask them if they'd like to attend, then give it to them. Do not spam. Do not throw mud against the wall. That's not what we're about. Personal invitations. And we have a lot of people on here today. Very excited about that. But I'd like to end with, and I do want to say this. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, we have Gene Frederick, Rob Flick, who one of you said you watched. I think it was Tina, and couldn't sleep. And then Scott Lewis and myself. And then we have special guest Dave Knord, president of EXP, addressing the nation, North America, really, the US and Canada. I'm sure all Australian and friends from the UK, where EXP is growing internationally, will be on as well. But we're going to talk about not just surviving during this pandemic, but thriving, what you can do. It's going to be amazing. So that'll be 1 hour long on a international Zoom, live Zoom, this Saturday morning. Ask whoever invited you here for a link. You can come even as a guest and watch. It'll be the 5 of us talking. We did it last Saturday. We had 13,000 views. So it's going very well. I think we had over 1,200 live watching. So this time I'm sure there'll be 2,000 or 3,000 live watching and probably 30,000, 40,000 views. It's going to be amazing. So don't miss that. That's this Saturday. And we're going to end with Noel, your video. So Rob, our engineer's queuing it up, and here we go. This is fun. Enjoy.
I think that I should warn you. There's something about to change. We're standing at the border where history is made. We're cranking up the lights now so everyone can see. It's all happening right now. We're gonna make you believe. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our house. We do what we wanna. We'll blow the roof off. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. We'll make the whole world hear us. So throw your hands up high. We're about to show you why they fear us. Here comes the battle cry. Here comes the battle cry. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our house. We do what we wanna. We'll blow the roof up. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get.
Where is everybody?
I don't know.
It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy.
All right. I hadn't seen that video till yesterday. I'm like, how did I not see
I could
this?
take you in it. Yeah, I mean,
I'm
that's my theme
54
song.
years old. I still think coffee and yellow notepads are cool. You know, don't worry about me, but I'm sure. Have you seen that, Tina?
I have not seen it, but now I want the link to it so I can send it to my team.
Is that awesome?
I love it. Yeah, that was great.
That is
I'll
great.
send
I was the singer for that video. If you
Oh,
want
were
to.
you? Yeah, I bet you were.
I
I
wrote
feel
the
like
song and sang it. Just kidding.
the lyrics were written for us, honestly. Like, I feel like the lyrics of that song really describe everything, and the whole power behind that video is just to show the power behind the movement, how quickly it grows.
So here's what I want to challenge everyone to do. When I saw this, I did a beta test with 8 of my good friends, owners of Remax franchises, owners of Next franchise in Taro, which is Berkshire Hathaway now, regional managers for Remax, regional managers for Berkshire Hathaway, big stars. I showed it to 8 people and said, you're going to look at this for me because we are amigos and you're going to do this. You don't have to do EXP, but you need to look at it for me because I'm thinking about leaving Keller Williams. You know, I love that place and I won't think about leaving. It was an amazing. Talk me off the ledge. So tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, if you like this format, we're going to do exactly the same thing with the countdown video, and then we're going to plug modelexplain.com, and then I'm going to come on with 2 other superstars. I have hundreds to choose from. I chose Noelle and Tina, obviously for good reason, but they can check it out. But I want to say this as a parting thought. Some of you are sitting there going, yeah, am I too late? I waited 3 years. I waited 2 years. I waited 10 years. We started 10 years ago. We are not too late. We are a public company on the NASDAQ. There are 28,000 of us. There are 2 million in North America alone. We're just over 1% market penetration. Who are we? We're nobody, but baby, buckle up. We are coming because we're locking arms with our friends. We're not the manager from Coldwell Banker or the manager from Century 21 or the team leader from Keller Williams trying to one person to go out and impact their thing. We're 28,000 managers, team leaders, you know, agent owners through the shares of stock. We own our company with our, by the way, stock is doing great in this downturn. I'm thrilled. And so you're not too late. You're at the beginning of a complete tidal wave of movement that you're going to watch explode for 10 years straight. Stop putting it off. Give it a shot. You can't go wrong. And Noelle, Tina, thank you for taking the time to be on today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Yep, thank you, Brent.
All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.